Welcome, everyone. We are so glad that you are joining us. I'm very excited to introduce our special guest today, Mary Sise. Mary Sise is a licensed clinical social worker and is a pioneer in the field of energy psychology, an author, international speaker, and the creator of the soul weaving process. For over 20 years, she has been personally trained in energy healing by Her Holiness Sai Ma and serves as the director of Sai Ma's Magdalena Healing Program. Welcome, Mary. Welcome. Thank you for being with us today.
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me to be part of this summit. I'm just absolutely honored to be here. Thank you.
And we're honored to have you. And my first question for you is, how did you find yourself from being a licensed clinical social worker, right, LCSW, into energy psychology? And what is energy psychology?
Great questions. So let me start with what is energy psychology. Energy psychology, as you've got energy medicine. So we're using the energy systems of the body for medicine and for healing, for all that. Energy psychology is actually a field where we use energy, the systems of the body. You could use meridians, the chakras, the biofield, it's energy, the heart, the energy field of the heart. But we use energy to shift psychological problems. Okay, so we basically, one of the big ways I got into energy psychology itself was I worked with a lot of trauma survivors. I worked a lot with trauma. And I found that talking about trauma often made them worse. Like they would have more flashbacks, they would have more nightmares, they would become suicidal. And they were starting to get worse. And I went to every trauma conference I could go to, but I was practicing in the early 80s or the 80s, and there wasn't that much out about trauma or even how to heal trauma. And so anyway, I was learning about eye movement therapy for trauma. And then somebody told me about, you could tap on meridians or you could put your hands over chakras. And I didn't even know what a meridian or a chakra was. But I was so desperate to help people and not make people worse. My biggest prayer was, please don't let me do anything that makes anybody worse. Like suffer. I don't want anybody to suffer. So we started tapping these meridians and moving eyes around, and oh my God, my people started getting better. And the flashback stopped, the nightmare stopped, and I was like, oh my God, what is happening? So then I had to go figure it out and went and studied with actually Roger Callahan, who started the tapping that many of you know. There's many different versions out now. I studied with him, and then I later on went and studied with a Qigong master, met his master from China. I'm trying to figure out, what is this energy thing, And so that was one of the ways that got me in the energy psychology and energy medicine field.
I love that. It feels too, when we continuously share the same story, that we're almost reprogramming or adding even more energy to the story and the pain and the trauma that we went through.
Exactly.
Right? Instead
of but who knew that? I mean, talk therapy was king, and that's what I was finding. And people were getting worse. And it was like, oh my God. And this can't be. Intuitively, I knew there's got to be something better. And we have to be able to heal this. I was passionate to find a way too. And so, it was, and now we know the research. 20 years later, we've got the research that says, the body keeps the score, from, Bessel van der Kolk. We don't keep talking about it. But the problem is it's not that much out it is out more than it was back then.
Absolutely. And, we evolved in time, and so do our practices. Mm-hmm. I am so happy that you had this desire to serve and support your clients and your people, mm-hmm. that you just kept searching and exploring and growing your practice with different ancient techniques. Now, one of the things that comes to mind is when we're dealing with energy, right? Mm-hmm. what is the difference between like, is there an energy? How do we distinguish like the ego personality? What is the soul? Is there
Mhm.
an energy difference in
Oh,
that?
definitely, definitely. So the soul is the aspect of you that goes lifetime to lifetime. Okay. And then you have other higher aspects of you, like your higher self, your I am presence. And this is all an esoteric, you could read all about that. But the soul is this part of you. I love to use props. So we'll say this. So this is your soul, and it's gone lifetime to lifetime. And after you die, you leave the body. Obviously, the soul, those who have had near-death experiences have taught us so much about this. So you leave, and then you go rest for a while, but you want to come back, because when you leave, what happens is you're like, oh my God, I forgot. Look how mean I was to that. Oh, I should have never done that. Oh, you feel bad, and you say, I want to come back. There's no, by the way, there's no big God in my world, in the sky, and from the teachings that I've received from Saima, who says you're going back to New Jersey for what you've done. You're going to, New Jersey. There's none of that. It's you as a soul feel like, oh, I have to go back and make that, because Earth is a planet of love and of fear. It's got two frequencies. So anyway, they make you rest for a while. Then you come back, and they tell you you're going to be able to go back, but you have to find parents. Now, a lot of souls, especially your listeners, your audience, they heard this time on planet Earth was going to be a real doozy. Like, I mean, it was going to be awesome. So you really wanted to come in. So you have to get somebody to take you in. So you go from soul to soul to soul to find somebody to bring you. And if you don't find somebody on your floor, and it's like the only difference between your floor and another floor is the amount of baggage you carried from Earth, like how much fear is in your field. So now if you can't find anybody from your floor, you've got to go to the floor below you. And if you can't find anybody there, you go to the one below that. So some of us got really desperate. We didn't care. We really wanted to come. If you have that knowingness, like, I'm supposed to be, I want to be here, then you're one of those, okay? You just knew it was going to be really cool here. Crazy cool, but fun, cool. So anyway, then you jump in, you get finally some parents who are going to take you in. You don't really care, because you don't even ask for a resume. You just like, okay, you'll take me in. Great. Okay. I don't care. Yeah, I'll figure it out. You're just like, sometimes some of you listeners, or you probably, Vanessa, like, I'll figure it out later,
Yes.
that we did that up there. Okay. And then we came in and we said, I'll figure it out later. So we jump in and we're born. That's where the fun starts, because the soul, it's a big, big energy, and it squishes into this little body. Okay. And then somebody takes you home to New Jersey or wherever you went. Okay. So they take you home, and then because babies, they're like light, and they're porous, and their energy's open. Their chakras aren't they're that formed yet. And I mean, not their chakras, excuse me, their aura. And so every energy in the family they absorb. So grandma comes, she thinks you're great. She loves you. You got that energy. Dad's mad at mom. He leaves. You've got that energy in you. And eventually this one's angry at this one. You've got that energy. You absorb it all until your soul gets so covered up that it's like really tiny, all covered with all these energies. Okay. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Thank
And
you.
then in order to kind of get through, you're still light, you're still divinity. That doesn't change. Okay. And also, by the way, you have energies from your lineage, that all get passed down. That's this teaching, the sins of the father go down 7 generations. I don't know about you, but that really pissed me off as a kid, because I'm thinking, why am I in trouble for what he did? And why am I in trouble for, I was in enough trouble on my own. Like, why am I getting his sins, But that's it. It's these energies, these like unworthiness or scarcity or shame. All that, it's covered you up. Okay. But you're still light in there. And that's how you form your beliefs. Most of your beliefs are formed under the age of 7 with these energies. And so so you have all this in here, and this gets dimmer and dimmer and dimmer. Then to survive, you create the structure of the personality. Like, I must be bad, or I'm mommy's little helper. I'm better than the other guys, or I'm this, I'm that, or whatever. and to make sense of the world. That's the personality. The soul of you is light. It has some facets that need to be cleaned up, but it's the aspect of you that's eternal. Then you leave the body and you look, so the game on planet Earth really is to look at these energies and become aware of what's in you and transmute them, because the truth is you're light. And in fact, once you transmute all this other stuff, you become a stronger and stronger and stronger vehicle of light. And then that's what, when we're talking about here, is what's the healing presence of you. So your presence becomes stronger and stronger and more capable of serving on this planet to do what your soul wanted to do in the first place, why you wanted to come here. Does that make sense?
I love that. And I love that you use the crystals to show us
Mhm.
visually what it looked like, gave us more of a feeling for it.
Mhm.
What is your soul's signature? And,
Mhm.
how does it impact the planet, especially during this time, right? It's like go time on the planet.
Yeah, yeah. So you're and each one of us have a signature energy. And this is us. So if I'm speaking to you, Vanessa, and I'm being kind and this got my name on it, every word I say goes out and it's got my name on it. Okay. Now supposing I'm like mad at you and I'm putting fear on the planet, I'm putting anger and hatred. Even when you're against something, you're putting more hatred or duality on the planet. You're making people wrong, you're judging. And that goes out. Everything goes out and it comes back. Okay? So that's what the teachings are of karma. So every action you take comes back to you. So in every moment, each one of us has the opportunity to put more anger, division, or unity, oneness. So am I putting compassion out, or am I putting hate out, jealousy out, all the energies? And it's got your name on it. Eventually it'll come back. That's law. It's your stuff. Nobody else you can't transmute my stuff.
Mm. And so, how can we tell the difference when we're showing up in ego or someone's showing up in ego and that ego energy, and when they're showing up in soul or in service?
Oh, okay. So you have to realize every energy also has a shadow part to it. So many of your audience are healers, like I am. So we're loving, we serve, we just think we're just like amazing. At least I thought I was. And then, but my shadow, if we don't pay attention to what's in our shadow, the big shadow ones for healers are the rescuer, like because it comes out of our wounds. We dropped into this family. We looked around. After a while and said, "Oh, boy, it's nuts down here. What is going on? These people. What's wrong with you people? If you had a tricycle bumper sticker on your tricycle, it probably was, what's wrong with you people? Like, really? Like, why can't you be nice? Like, what are you doing?" And that you didn't fit in oftentimes in your families, because remember, you didn't get a resume. Okay, so if so anyway, so then you grow up to be like the helper, the this, the that, the rescuer, trying to make mommy happy, trying to make daddy happy, trying to keep the marriage together, whatever things you did. And so, but that's your shadow of the healer energy. It's kind of the shadow side. Rescuer, martyr is a big one for healers. And then the other one we use, especially in the Magdalena program, is the holy healer. Like I'm like so evolved that the rest, I can't really hang with you people because I'm over here in my cave. Anyway, that's not why you came. And although maybe some people came to be in a cave, but trust me, you guys here in America, probably not for sure, because there's no caves or anymore. We got no caves.
Absolutely. We have to be mystics in the world.
Mystics with boots on the ground. Exactly. So you can't hide and be holy, like on your meditation mat. I've reached nirvana, but I can't like talk to my kids or something. You know what I mean? So anyway, when you're in service, it doesn't have that like I have to do something. I have to fix that. I don't need to eat. I don't need to take money. I don't need this. I don't need that. That's for the most part. I can't speak about everybody, but for the most part, that's more coming out of your wound. So it's really being aware of what is the energy I'm doing this with, and and am I rescuing? Am I pontificating rather than sharing something? Um, just all the things we tell ourselves. So for healers, is being aware. When you're in service, it's easy because you're the flute. You just get in alignment. Like what you just allow the grace, Shakti, we call it, to move through you, it just comes out it's in your field. You don't even have to open your mouth. Now that's really cool. You can
That's
have
what
your
we wanted to sign up for. That's what we
exactly.
signed up for.
That's why I want to be like, when I learned energy psychology and the tapping and everything, I thought these things were so cool because they work so fast. But then I realized, Jesus didn't really tap anybody. I mean, he put mud in a few people's eyes. I heard about that one, and spit. But short of that, he didn't really have a technique. But his field emanated such light.
Oh. And how, Mary, I love everything that you're saying, and you say it with such humor that, it really comes home. How can we raise our energy? Can we raise our frequency?
Yes.
You're talking about Jesus. And
oh, absolutely. That's the game. So the game is first recognizing, sometimes I have this problem. I go, oh, there's cheese in my field. It's just cheese. Okay. Don't, there's shame in me. There's this and that. Don't suppress anything. Allow it. What will happen, if you haven't noticed, is people will come and trigger you. They'll push your buttons. Okay. Now, the tendency is to like call your friends and complain about them, or get in a support group for people who have annoying partners or something. I don't know, or mothers-in-laws or whatever, or an ex. Oh, there's plenty of groups for that. So people will come and push your button, but they didn't install them. They're showing you there's unworthiness in you, there's shame in you, there's betrayal energy in some of you, whatever it is. So the game is, when it gets triggered, okay, is to allow it to come to surface, and then say to yourself, for me, I say to myself, how old do I feel right now? Who does this remind me of? What's going on with me? What is this energy in me that I now have the power to transmute? Because who are you? You're divinity in a physical form. You're huge energy, and you have energy has to follow your command. So I can entertain this, dance with it, call a few friends, make it bigger, get a support group against somebody, okay? Or I can transmute it. And then once something is transmuted, it's transmuted. You can't just resist it, because then it gets bigger, right? And bigger and bigger and bigger. And then something will take you down. Why? Because you didn't come for that. Your soul is longing to express itself through you, as you. And so this has to get cleaned up, or it can't fully express. That makes sense?
absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for sharing it that in that particular way. How are beliefs formed, Mary? And why does energy medicine, right? Like tapping, you were saying earlier, it works so fast. I've done tapping, I've done the eye, it helped me a lot with trauma
Yeah.
release. So
Yeah.
why does it work so fast? And how are beliefs formed?
Okay, so most of your beliefs are formed under the age of 7 about how the world works. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One, energetically, there's energetic reasons, and there's a physical body reason. So your energy is so porous, you're taking everything in. So you've got energies in there, shame, unworthiness, pick your energy. And then you make beliefs about it to make sense of it. It's there, it's got to do something. Okay. So that's one way. Energetically, it comes in, and then some from your lineage, it just comes in. Okay. You have these energies in you, and you'll create a structure around them to make sense. Otherwise, like, you can't feel like you can control anything. So there must be something wrong with me that dad left. I'm the bad guy, or I'm unworthy. Plus, and the brain also isn't developed. So anything like that happens under the age of 4 or 5, you think it's your fault, because you think you're the center of the universe, right? You don't realize you're not yet. Okay. And then anything that gets told to you then, because mostly brainwaves wise, if you look at the brainwave states, most of the time under the age of 7, you're in a theta state, which that's the hypnosis state that we put people in hypnosis to program them. So it's so easy to program you. So if you really think about, like, if you had siblings, what they said to you, you were adopted, we never wanted you anyway, da, 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 da. If you're under the age of 7, that's going in like a program. And then if you're older, you're able to see gray rather than black and white. You're able to, Catholics let you make your first communion because now you're at the age of reason. That's true because there's something shifts in the brain. So that's why under the age of 7 for everybody, it's critical. Go back and look at who told you what. And then the tapping, because we don't spend a lot of time on your story, we go right for what's the energy in there. And I wrote one of the books I've written is called The Energy of Belief. And it's really about using tapping to get at the origin of the belief. And then you shift the energy of that and you program what you wish you had. And now we're using the meridian systems. So the nervous system quiets down and it's just easier to shift it. But what you don't want to do, which a lot of people do, is they do a lot of affirmations, but that's like candy coating dog do. Like a little bit of heat, that melts and that stinks again. It's still there, okay? You got to really clean out the junk, clean out the garbage that's in there. And then you put that over it and then it holds. And once an energy is dissolved, it's dissolved when you really dissolve it.
I love that. And it makes so much sense, right? We're not going to redecorate an area that has, poop on it or it's not clean. There's tons of dust.
I mean, let's face it. We try it. How many times have we tried to, right? Or like, oh, I get rid of this creepy guy. He's not treating me right or whatever, but we don't take care of the belief within us that I'm not worthy or I don't deserve or no man will stay around me because my dad left or whatever. And then we just attract another one. It's energy.
Different name, different face.
Different outfit, but same energy. It's the same energy. So you really want to look at what are the patterns of energy that you have that you're just creating with all the time. And it's just cheese, guys. It's just cheese in your aura. Get it, take it out and like clean it up and transmute it.
I love that you're making it. It's just cheese.
It's a joke. It's like, come on, we came here for bigger things than this.
I love that. How do we incur karma, Mary? And if we continue the client or friend without being healed, right? How do we incur?
Oh, that's an amazing teaching that Saima actually gave us. She said, if you are a healer, if you're in the healer role, it's a role. Okay. Some of us came to play that. So if you came to play that role and you're in that role, you're taking money, but you haven't done your work. There's an energy exchange, money. Okay. Not only that, the person is not only not getting better because you don't like, if I can't make a relationship work and I'm your relationship coach, you got a problem, right? Okay. It's like, but if I'm taking your money, now I'm not sending you or giving you the opportunity to go to somebody and I'm pretending like I know what I'm doing. And it's even worse than that. I could have read 7 books on how to make a relationship work. I can give you the knowledge on it, but I don't embody it. Like I don't trust men. I don't So, and I'm taking your money. So I'm incurring karma with you. You see? And you think just because you're mouthing what you don't embody, you don't do that because you're incurring karma. Now, I don't want to scare every therapist out there or whatever. It doesn't mean you don't go to work tomorrow. What it means is clients will come to you that will trigger your stuff because that's energy. Okay. So you just have to, I don't have this one done. That's why I like tapping because I would tap myself while they were tapping, got something done. But then I would go and work on it. Like, what is this for me? I need to transmute this or I need to refer them. Don't be fake because energy, you can't lie to energy. Energy is, think of gravity, okay? You jump off a building, you're going down. It doesn't matter. You've got $1,000 in your pocket, a great hairdo, your makeup's perfect. You're going down. Like it's energy law. And that's how energy works here. Karma means action. So every action has a different reaction. So I put this out, it's coming back. It's when you were 4 and you're banging your foot, it's not fair. Karma is very fair. And Earth, the other really important thing about planet Earth, this is a planet of free will. It was a gift that was given to us for this planet. Nobody can interfere in somebody else's free will. You can't. You can't. Not even the higher realms can't come in. They're waiting for you. They're waiting for us to get it that, oh, I forgot. I just forgot. I'm light. Let me clean up all this stuff. And it can be cleaned really fast now because all this light from the higher realms is here waiting for us because Mother Earth is shifting the vibration of the planet. The thing is, she can't do it without you and me because we said we'd help. So she can't do it without us. But if we're still busy in our story, playing around with our, he's done me wrong routine, or I'm not worth it, or I'm really, blah, blah, whatever, lower frequency thought we're thinking or believing about ourselves, we can't play our role. And it'll be harder. It's like this way, if you think of like, if we clean our stuff up and then we become these like big pillars of light, like acupuncture needles on planet Earth, and then Mother Earth can ascend and we're supporting it. If you said you're going to play that role, man, you're needed. And now, like, stop fooling around with your story.
So you're speaking on energy, telling us about how we're co-creating this critical time on the planet.
Yep.
What is voltage? Why do some people have it? Some people don't seem to. And why is it critical time on the planet?
That's a cool question because we all know what it looks like when we see it. Somebody who's got voltage, they carry a lot of voltage. I suspect some of it comes from past lives. Okay, like you came in with a vision, with a purpose, with a lot of power, voltage, we could say. Okay, but here's the game. There's free will down here. I have a lot of voltage. Okay. I've known it since I was a little kid. I would just say something. Everybody thought I knew what I was talking about because I said it like I knew what I was talking about. And by the way, I think I was right all the time. My husband argues that point, but I carry voltage. I can distort the voltage, and create a mess down here. Okay. And the more and more and more you get all of you're in alignment with what your soul came to do. A lot of people get all themselves in alignment with the ego, and that's a mess. Okay, but they have voltage; they can create a big mess. You see, but the more you like, oh, I cleaned up that, I cleaned up this, I cleaned up this, then this gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and you have more of an impact. And we would call it charisma. We call it, you just know somebody has. But it's so important that you clean up because, okay, so if I have a lot of voltage and you just give me this little thing of anger, I make a mess with it. Does that make sense? Versus somebody who maybe they have this much voltage and they have anger, they don't make as big a mess as I can make with anger.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I always felt a sense of responsibility with my energy.
Yes.
Like we're so glad you're on the side of the light, Vanessa.
Exactly. Yeah. And you don't know how you are that way. I have 9 grandkids now. And it's really funny to watch them given everything I know. And this little one of them, I saw her. She had she was playing with her kids. They were on the beach and she was playing with these older kids. And she's like, follow me. And she's like 4 and they're following her. And I'm laughing to myself thinking, oh my God, that kid's got voltage. She people just follow you and you don't. So be aware of that. If you're someone with voltage, you can make a really big mess with whatever you put out, including anger, betrayal, like big impact. On the other side, if you do your work and you get these other things cleared up for yourself and transmute it, whoa, you can make a big difference. And on a soul level, that's what you're here for. You just know you came and you said, you know what, I'm doing this. Yeah. This is a funny story. One time when I was with Simon, very early on, poor Simon, I really gave her a lot of hard time because I asked a million questions and I wasn't going to be duped. Anyway, so I remember one time she said, not everybody came here to do something. Some people just came to watch. And I remember thinking, watch, you could watch somebody. I didn't know you could watch. I thought they were a bunch of slackers. Like, really? You can watch down here? And Mom said, yes, they didn't. And a lot of people, now later on, she said, a lot of people will be leaving the planet during this time. And we see now with the pandemic that people are leaving. They didn't come to be part of this huge transformation on the planet that we came to be part of. So anyway,
Thank you.
it just got me like, what are you doing, Mary? Why don't you just leave people alone and serve the ones who have come to you specifically to be served? In other words, leave your family alone, leave your relatives alone, your friends you think ought to do this or that. Stop wasting. That's the other thing therapists and healers often do is they leak their energy. And they waste versus keeping it and serving this, in a different way. Your presence is what eventually can do the work. And you have a few techniques just to kind of entertain yourself. But
I love that, Mary. I love that you talked about letting go of wanting to heal your family, your friends, and allowing ourselves to tend to our own energy so we can expand our capacity to hold positive transformation impact. Now, why is now such a critical time on the planet?
Because now is when planet Earth is making her ascension. That's been predicted. That's been, we've been told this is in the Hindu tradition, Satya Yuga, the time of truth. So that tells you that anything that's not of truth, of highest integrity, is going to crumble right now. So you've heard it first right here on the Shift Network. If you haven't heard this before, don't be surprised. We could say it's like when you're giving childbirth and there's that time of transition, you're like, oh my God, this is going in the wrong direction. Like it hurts, like what's going on? And if you didn't know what was happening, it's important to know what's happening. We're in transition now. The Earth is in the contractions. She will clear with the elements, air, fire, water. It's all being cleared. Some people will leave because they didn't come for this part. Their soul didn't want to do it. Now, but it's only trying to figure out what did your soul want to do. Not don't try to figure somebody else out. That never works. So a lot of people will be leaving. Things will be changing. Things will be crumbling. And you can get scared with that. But that's like being in the bed delivering the baby and you jump out and you run around the nurse's station, like something's wrong. Nothing's wrong. Most of you people on this call probably, or in watching this, you're supposed to be the nurse in the nurse's station that just said, everything's okay. Start breathing, get back in there. The baby's coming out. We're birthing something new. And so you have to not be scared. So that's why it's so important that we get to this point where we're so clear that it's okay. Let's clean up what we're not. Let's access, because we can now ask. We always could, but we ask, and we can now have a higher capacity to serve. So more energy can move through you. Okay. And then you get help if you need to clear up what you're not. And then you can serve just your presence, just like the calm nurse at the nurse's station, or the pole in the merry-go-round, or the center of the vortex of the tornado. That's where we are. So I'm passionate about getting the nurses in the nurse's station solid so they can play their role in this design that we wanted to be here for.
Thank you.
And it's not for everybody. So just let everybody else do what their soul wanted. Don't worry about them. They're fine. They're fine.
I love that. It's so calming to know that, we've chosen different things.
Yes.
So as part of getting the nurses into the nurse station, would you offer some sort of experiential meditation or
Sure.
exercise?
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So let's all take a breath together. And you've heard a lot. You've just heard a lot. And it may be shaking you up a little bit. It's okay. It's okay. Just take a breath with me. I invite you to just close your eyes and become aware of what's come up for you. There may be parts of this that have really expanded you and made sense, and that's okay. Maybe we'll just feel how good that feels for a quick second. And then bring your awareness to any aspect of you that might be afraid. You know, that part of you that really likes to have answers or knows what's going to happen next, doesn't like surprises or shocks or notice your body, notice where it is, holding in the body. And put your attention on this. It may be, oh, what if somebody I love leaves, or a fear about the unknown, or what if I don't make it, or, and good Lord, if you have any punishing God theories, bring that up too. Just breathe into it. You know, I mean, put your palms out. I want you to bring your attention now to your palms of your hands and activate. You're activating for yourself. Nobody puts anything in you. Everything is in you. It's just dormant. Invite the higher realms, the angelic realms, the great cosmic beings, Master Jesus, Mary Magdalena, whoever you like, Mother Mary, Allah, it doesn't matter. And put with your palms facing up, just feel the palms of your hands. And begin to feel, perceive, you can imagine it. Focused on your hands. Feel the light, this pillar of light that's pouring from the higher realms into your hand. Use your breath. And when that feels full, complete, or however, very slowly so that you can feel it. If you move fast, sometimes you can't feel it. Very slowly, take this power, this healing power, and bring it to the body where that contracted energy was. Just pour it in there. And you may choose to see yourself as a young girl, a young boy, afraid, not certain what was going on, being scared, or whatever this is. Imagine the you of today with your healing hands goes to that child. Tell the child the truth. That time is over. You're safe now. I found you. Whatever the child needed to know. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with any of you. It's just energy in your field. Your light, you chose to be here. It's not easy to get here. You chose. I found you. I remember. You can take that child part and grow that child part up. Show the child part how your life is. The good news is you're not a child. The bad news is you're maybe 60 something. It's okay. You have options. And you'll continue to search. And you'll continue to clear out what you are not. You're a miracle, your divinity in a physical form. They just didn't know. It's safe to know now. It's safe to remember who you really are. And then with another deep, deep breath, I invite you to open your eyes, invite the child part to look out. Like, wow, where am I? It's safe to be you. Now's your time. Let's clear up everything that we're not and have some fun down here. Thank you. Mm.
Thank you, Mary. That was so just peaceful, beautiful, and also just inviting us into the knowing that already exists. So,
Yes. Yes.
mm, thank you.
Everything is within you. And every energy is within you. It's just some are very dormant because they haven't been nourished. Like, you know, safety for some abundance. Let's get abundance. Let's get that
Yeah.
scarcity thing over with. Abundance, or and so it's really it's like a garden. You know, you got to kind of weed out some stuff. But the good news is, I'm telling you, things that would take years and years and years, 20, 30 years ago to heal are like getting cleared like that. So go for it. Invoke the high realms. Don't go for your relatives, you know, whatever. Let them rest in peace. Okay. Go up higher and invoke those realms because they're waiting to be asked because of that free will rule. So invoke them, bring them in. Let's clear everything you're not. And your presence, you will have a healing power in just in your presence. It will liberate and serve. You know, that's what's cool.
Thank you so much, Mary. And
You're welcome.
given everything that you've talked about with us today and shared and guided us into, is there anything else or one more thing that you'd like to leave us with today or our next step for our listeners so they can continue making changes in their own lives?
Hmm. The biggest thing I can share with you is there's nothing wrong with you. Please take that in the future with you, that you're a soul. And yeah, they can visit my website, marysise.com. There, I've written a book, Energy of Belief, or Tapping the Panic Out of the Pandemic. You know, there's stuff on there. They can just go look at what I'm doing. I have some online courses. There's plenty of stuff. And then of course um, if you're interested in Mary Magdalena, I serve as the director of a Mary Magdalena healing program, which is we're initiated into the energies of Mary Magdalena, which is like really what a powerful, powerful healer. So yeah, so lots of things. Just Google me, it's easy. Yeah. Thank you.
So you can find Mary at marysice.com, right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mary.
Thank you. It was
Such
a
a
joy.
pleasure. This was such a great session.
Oh, good.
And
Pleasure,
thank you
pleasure, pleasure.
all. Thank you all for listening. Reach out, follow her, and explore these beautiful and deep offerings. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.